Ever wonder why some men seem to explode out of nowhere? Let's discuss something that affects a lot of men, but isn't discussed enough in my opinion. So here's what happens. From childhood, many men are taught to suppress their emotions and base their worth on being strong or pleasing others. This creates a process called codependency. Codependency equals your worth depends on others. That's a problem. Think of it like being a chameleon. You're constantly changing colors to match what others want, but you forget what your original color was. You become desperate to control situations because your sense of self depends on everyone else being okay. You can't control others, but you can control yourself. This leads to something called reactive abuse. So imagine a dog in a corner that's being repeatedly hit over and over with a stick. Eventually the dog is going to bark and bite back. Then the person says, "Look how violent the dog is." So reactive abuse equals provoking someone to react. It's when someone deliberately pushes your buttons, triggers your trauma, or manipulates you until you finally snap. Then they point at your reaction and say, "See, you're the problem." Understanding this pattern doesn't excuse harmful behavior. It actually explains it. So what can men do about this problem? Breaking this cycle is like learning to be a thermostat instead of a thermometer. A thermometer just reacts to the temperature around it. A thermostat sets its own temperature and maintains it, no matter what's happening outside. So be a thermostat and not a thermometer. You can start by recognizing your triggers. That's a good place to start. Then setting boundaries and then sticking to them. Thereafter, you want to look into learning how to regulate your emotions. Emotional regulation is a skill, just like learning how to drive or cook. So the process is recognizing the triggers, setting the boundaries, and practicing regulation. As a man, your mental health matters. You're not broken and you're not alone. Understanding these patterns is the first step to changing them. It's also important to understand that repetition is very important. Recognizing your triggers, setting boundaries, and emotional regulation has to be something that is in your everyday life. So don't think that you're just going to go 1 week or a few weeks of this process and everything's going to be okay. It's something that you have to make a part of your life. Codependency is a deep phenomenon. It affects a lot of men. And in order to break that cycle or to work against it, it's about really putting in the active conscious work. Until next time.